welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Philadelphia, and today I'm going to review the book Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. Just to give you a short and simple summary about this book, it follows two characters, Alex and Amara, and I hope I'm pronouncing that one correctly. And Amara is a lost 20-something-year-old, doesn't quite know what she wants to be when she grows up, and she's really struggling with the fact that all her friends are kind of situated into their careers, and she's kind of, a little clueless and lacks some ambition and is freaking out because she's about to lose her health insurance because she's about to turn 26 and get off her parents. So she's really faced with a conundrum of what career path should she be going on, because right now she is currently a babysitter, but she loves babysitting this little girl named Briar. I think that's her name. It starts with a B. And she loves the job. She's not a big fan of the mom who does it, but she tolerates Alex. Alex is the mom of Briar, and she's a lot. She's a social media influencer. She's really full of herself. She is very ambitious, and she is, her whole brand is about building women up and for women to kind of see their full potential. So she kind of sees Amara as a pet project in a way, and is a little overbearing, and she kind of puts herself in situations where she's not really welcomed. So that's kind of the character dynamic between the two women. The story kicks off with Amara being called to babysit an emergency situation for Alex. So Amara is tasked with getting the child out of the house late at night because a situation has arose, and she takes her to this uppity grocery store. In my mind, it's probably similar to a Whole Foods. And it's late at night, and just to bring up the fact that Amara is black, and she's in a very white, upper class neighborhood, and the people in the grocery store are stereotyping her, and she gets accused of potentially kidnapping the girl she's babysitting just because she doesn't look like she fits in this situation, having a child late at night, not being of the same race, and she's stereotyped, and police are involved. The confrontation gets filmed, and Amara really doesn't want this video to leak. She doesn't want to be a poster for the internet and on social media for this highly charged racial situation that we are currently in and that we have always been in. She doesn't want the attention, and she's frankly afraid that since she is looking for maybe a new career path, that there's repercussions when these videos get posted. She doesn't want that to be the first impression of her. And so she talks with the man that has videotaped this altercation and asks for him to delete it. And he does delete it, but first he sends it to her just in case she ever changes her mind, so she has that tool and has that proof of how she was treated in case she ever needs it in the future. The story really tackles racism, systematic racism, these kind of quiet prejudices that we have that we don't even realize what we're doing. Especially tackles the white savior complex. This is a Reese Witherspoon pick. It's a part of her book club, so it's been everywhere. At least in my world, I've seen it on all the blogs and Instagram, and it's really getting a lot of attention right now, so I thought I would read it, especially with the times that we're in. It seemed like a pretty contemporary piece for me to read. And it's written by Kylie Reed, who she's a debut author, and I was really impressed with that because the story is really easy to read and it captivated me and I binged it. So props off for that being her first piece of writing. It was a really good piece that I'm proud that she was able to accomplish that in her first novel. This book's a conversation starter, so I think it has a great purpose. in literature right now. I think by reading this, it allows you to kind of see different perspectives and gives you greater empathy to situations that some people have to endure that maybe you don't have to. And I think the author writes it in a way where you can have a larger discussion outside of the book, and I think that's very valuable. I'm going to take this moment and pause. If you haven't read the book, I would stop watching now just because I don't want to spoil anything for you by accident. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that I didn't like about the book. I think the most disappointing thing for me with reading this book was it was so easy to read. I'm just reading, turning the pages, trying to figure out what happens next, and then I close the book and then I'm left feeling like I'm just like not satisfied. I didn't get the ending that I wanted. It felt a little lackluster to me. It was a realistic ending, but it left me wanting more, and I don't know if that's intentional, so you keep thinking about the book and about all the different outcomes that could have changed if some situations were different, or if it just is a lackluster ending. I'm not sure, but it really, I was like, closed the book and I was just like, really? That's how it ends? The whole time, like the beginning of the story, Amara is upset about the video that is filmed at the grocery store because she's afraid of how it'll come up in future job searches. But at the end of the book, when she has her blowout on national television, that same line of thinking doesn't seem to play out here. So the whole character motive seems a little lost to me right there, because I feel like her, the way she handled herself on national television during that news interview spoke worse to her than that video at the grocery store. She kind of looked a little immature in that clip. And Amara as a character, I just could never get emotionally attached to. The author didn't really give her a strong personality for her being the lead character. The whole time I felt like I never truly was able to see who she was as a person. I always felt like that layer of a deeper knowledge of a character was always, I never was able to get past that layer. She was very surface level, and I just thought she was a strange leading character because she was boring. It was a really weird character wrap up for Amara that she left the child care world, because that was the one passion she expressed during the whole book. And now she decides that she doesn't want to do that career path anymore. It was just a little odd to me. I mean, she could have picked a different family that wasn't as crazy as Alex's, and she had the opportunity to do so, but she just said no. I think Kelly actually kind of got the shitty end of the deal here in the whole story, because he never shared the video and he gets blamed for it. Amara never lets him explain himself and how he's innocent. She just goes on this, she just kind of makes her own assumptions and they were wrong, and she like refuses to apologize and acknowledge that she was in the wrong. Her pride really clouds her judgment and her ability to rekindle that relationship, because Kelly really did love her. She was just really immature in that relationship, and I don't think she was ready for him, and I really felt bad for him because he never did anything wrong. And then he also had to deal with Alex in high school, which at the end of the novel shows that he also didn't do anything wrong by sharing that map. And once again, she like went crazy on him, and he was kind of innocent in that situation as well. So I feel like he just keeps getting put in these situations that aren't really fair to him. One thing I didn't like about the ending is the last It's the last little bit about Alex, where it does the flashback back in high school when she's cleaning out the lockers, and she finds that, in fact, Kelly did not share this love note / map with his friends. It got stuck in a locker. We already hated Alex towards the end of this book, let's just be real. And after the locker scene, you're like, yeah, she's the villain. She's just crazy and does anything that suits her narrative, and she is selfish. And that can be true, but I think it would be a better ending if she cleaned out the locker and the note wasn't in there because she thought she was doing the right thing, when in reality she was being selfish, because I think that plays better into the white savior card than just being outright terrible. And so yeah, that's kind of how I feel about the book. The book definitely threw my emotions in a couple different ways, because on one hand I really enjoyed the read and I thought it was very captivating and it gripped my attention, and I finished it in about 2 days. But on the other hand, I was left wanting more and did not like the ending. I thought it was just lackluster and it wasn't the ending I wanted for Mara, and I just didn't care for the ending. So my score for this, I would say it's a 3.5. If the ending was different, I'd give it a 4 because it was an enjoyable read, but I think it's a solid 3.5. And I do recommend the book though still, even though it doesn't hit that 4 mark, because it's a great start to have a bigger conversation, which is very important in what we need right now. And so yeah, it was a good book. So let's talk about the books I'm currently reading. Right now, I've narrowed it down to one book. I usually read about 3 at the same time, but I only have one book I'm reading right now, and that's called Shadow and Bones. And I think it's going to be a Netflix series here next year. And so far it's good. It's a YA novel. Honestly, I probably haven't read a YA novel since high school, so it's been quite some time. And it's kind of bringing back all these nostalgic feelings of reading YA fantasy. It brings me back. And it's been enjoyable so far, even though it's not a pick I would normally pick up, but I thought it was great for the spooky season. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I look forward to seeing you next time, and follow me on Instagram. My handle is Philly Hewitt, where you can see my day-to-day life. Yeah, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy these videos. I enjoy making them. Remember to like this video, and please let me know your comments and how you felt about the book, and subscribe so you can see more content, and have a great